Zara, baby, hold on. We're almost there. I pushed the hospital doors open, clutching her burning body against my chest. Her small hands gripped my jacket, trembling. The nurse at reception barely looked up. Name, Zara Gray. 5. Years old. She's burning up. She hasn't eaten in 3 days. My voice cracked. Please, take a seat. We'll call you. No, she needs help now. I said take a seat. She pointed, unbothered. I turned, lips pressed tight, and found the nearest bench. Zara whimpered softly against me. Hurts. I know, honey. I know. Just hang in there. Is she okay? A deep voice asked. I looked up and froze. Tall man in a tailored suit stood in front of us, perfectly groomed. Cold eyes, rich cologne. His voice was calm, but his gaze stayed fixed on me. Before I could respond, Zara stirred in my arms, eyes half-lidded. She blinked at him, weak but curious. Then she whispered, Sir, are you my new daddy? My breath hitched. Zara? No, honey, don't say that. The man's eyes flickered. He didn't smile, just stared. I'm sorry, I muttered. She's delirious. I didn't mean... She said your name is Zara? He asked. Yes, why? He crouched, level with her face. Zara, that's a beautiful name. Thanks, she whispered, fingers curling in my coat. You smell like cake. That made him blink. Cake? She likes sweets, I murmured, pulling her close. What's your name? He asked me suddenly. I hesitated. Alina. His eyes narrowed. Alina? Gray? I stiffened. Yes. Do I know you? No, he said too quickly, standing straight. But I know of you. What does that mean? Before he could answer, the nurse called out, Zara Gray? I stood instantly. That's us. She'll be fine, he said quietly as I walked past him. I paused. Do you always talk to strangers' children like that? Only the ones who call me daddy, I glared. That wasn't funny. He didn't laugh. Wasn't meant to be. I turned away, heart racing. Inside the exam room, as the nurse checked Zara's vitals, my mind spun. His voice, his face, that name. Ethan Blackwell. I'd heard it before. But where? Zara gripped my hand. Mommy, that man's eyes were sad. I brushed her hair back. He's just a stranger, baby. Not a bad one? I don't know yet. Later, as I stepped out to call Noah, I passed the front desk, and he was still there leaning against the wall watching me. I swallowed. Are you following us? No. Then what do you want? Closure. I frowned. From me? From her, he said, then looked down. Your mother. My chest tightened. Excuse me? You're Mira Gray's daughter. I stared. At him. My legs felt weak. How do you... I knew her. Years ago. Something in my chest cracked. She died, I said. I know. His voice was low. Almost... guilty? She said something before she passed, I whispered. She said, beware the one who wears a perfect face. He didn't flinch, just nodded slowly. Is that you? I asked. I guess we'll find. Out! I stepped back. Stay away from us. He didn't reply, but as I turned, I could feel it. His eyes still on me. Heavy, knowing. Like a ghost from a life I never asked to relive. I didn't take the money, I had whispered. My voice barely rose above the storm outside the Gray estate. Don't lie to me, Alina, my father bellowed. The records are clear. $500,000 missing and your signature on the transfer. I didn't sign anything. That's not even my handwriting. Enough, he snapped. You're not my daughter anymore. Dad, leave before I call security. I looked at Dahlia. Her arms were folded, her lips curled. She didn't even pretend to cry. You did this, I said to her. She raised an eyebrow. Or maybe you just got caught. I clenched my fists. Why? She stepped closer so only I could hear. Because you were always the favorite, and I was tired of pretending to be less. Mom is sick, I choked. She needs me. She doesn't need a thief. I left with a suitcase and a cracked phone, and silence from every number I dialed, even Nathan. I still remember his voice when I begged him to believe me. You think I want to marry someone with scandal glued to her name? He said. Grow up. You promised me forever. Forevers. A long time to trust the wrong girl. The line went dead, just like every part of my life. Mom held my hand a week later, her frame so small in the hospital bed. I'm sorry, I whispered. I couldn't fix it. Don't cry, she said softly. I knew this world would turn on you one day. It turned on me, too. Who did this? I asked her. She hesitated. I tried to fight them once. A man with power. Clean suits, empty eyes. Tell me his name. She smiled faintly. Beware the one who wears a perfect face. Then she closed her eyes and never opened them again. I worked at a diner during the day and slept on the manager's couch at night. No heat, no curtains, just me and the tiny flutter inside my belly. Please be strong, I whispered to the bump. Mommy's got you. I still don't know how I made it. One night, a lawyer showed up at the diner. I was scrubbing the floor. You're Alina Gray? He asked. Depends who's asking. Someone paid me to offer you a settlement, to stay quiet about your mother's lawsuit. I stood. My mother never filed a lawsuit. He tilted his head. Didn't she? Maybe she tried. What's this about? He handed me a check. A big one. Who sent this? I asked. He only said, someone who prefers to stay invisible. I ripped the check in half. The next day, the diner fired me. No warning. Just a cold goodbye. I got the message, whoever this invisible man was. He wanted my silence. He wanted me to vanish, but I didn't. I gave birth alone, in pain, in fear. But when I held Zara for the first time, everything changed. I'll never let them touch you, I promised. Not him, not them, not ever. For 5 years, I moved city to city, changed jobs, stayed invisible. But fate doesn't care about hiding, because today, in that hospital lobby, Zara looked at a stranger and called him Daddy. And he looked at me like he'd seen a ghost, Ethan Blackwell. Perfect face, cold eyes, power that could crush anyone. Was he the one? Was he the man behind my mother's death and my downfall? Now he knows my name and my daughter's, but he doesn't know that. I remember, and I'm done running. Blackwell, I murmured, typing his name into my phone. Ethan Blackwell, CEO of Blackwell Corp. Zara slept beside me in the hospital cot, her little chest rising and falling. I scrolled through article after article. Multi-billionaire, investor, philanthropist, suspected of several buried lawsuits. I frowned. Buried lawsuits? A soft knock broke my focus. Miss Gray? A nurse peeked in. There's someone here asking for you. My pulse quickened. Who? He says he's a friend of your daughter's. I stood up. Tell him to leave. Before she could move, his voice came from behind her. I won't stay long. I stepped out. You shouldn't have come. I needed to see if she was okay. She doesn't need you. She called me Daddy. She was hallucinating. He leaned against the wall. She has your eyes. Don't say that. Do you know who I am? He asked. I know enough. Then say it. I met his gaze. Ethan Blackwell, the man who ruined my mother's life. He didn't flinch. I never met Mira Gray. But your company paid her to stay quiet. I didn't approve that settlement. Of course you didn't. I folded my arms. You were too busy building your empire on broken families. He looked down. She tried to sue us? She tried to expose your factories poisoning the water near our farm. His eyes darkened. That land was settled 5 years ago. Yeah. Right before my mother died. Right before I lost everything. I didn't know. Don't. You dare say that to me. He sighed. Let me make it right. I laughed. With what? A check? No. I want to know what happened. I stepped closer. Why? Guilt? Curiosity? Or because my daughter called you daddy, and now your conscience decided to play hero? He didn't speak. You think you can walk in and fix this? I went on. You think just because you look polished and powerful, I'll forgive you? No. Then why are you here? He looked at me carefully. Because I didn't know your mother's name until today. And now I can't forget it. I scoffed. You ruined people and never knew their names? I trusted people to handle things. I was wrong. I looked him up and down. You still are. He handed me a card. If you change your mind, I won't. He nodded, started to walk away, then stopped. Your mother, what was she like? Strong, I said. Kind. Brave enough to speak truth to power. Until that power crushed her. He met my eyes. Then maybe it's time someone used their power for something else. I crumpled his card in my hand. He walked away without another word. Back in the room, I sat beside Zara. Her tiny hand gripped mine in her sleep. You met a monster. Today, I whispered. And I don't know if he's worse than I imagined, or just exactly what I feared. I looked out the window. But I do know this. He knows my name now. And I wasn't going to let him forget it. Ask ChatGPT. Zara warms up to Ethan, drawing pictures of mommy, me, and my new daddy. Alina struggles with anger and confusion. How can her innocent daughter be so drawn to him? One night, Zara asks, "Why don't you like him, Mommy?" Alina snaps, but later cries in silence. Memories of her mom's soft voice soothe her. Ethan is nothing like her mom, but he's trying to win Zara's heart. Why? Is this guilt or something darker? Noah, Alina's childhood friend, shows up after years, having tracked her down through Zara's doctor. He warns her. Ethan Blackwell doesn't do anything without a reason. Alina confesses everything, and Noah offers help. Meanwhile, Ethan invites Alina and Zara to a weekend event for kids, but it's secretly a publicity stunt. When Alina finds out, she explodes in public. You used my daughter like a toy. Cameras catch everything. Her anger makes headlines, just like 5 years ago. History repeats. Her heart breaks again. Ethan confronts Alina, asking why she hates him. She finally tells him, "You killed my mother. You paid for her silence." Ethan looks stunned. He never knew about Mira Gray. He finds old documents and realizes his mother signed the settlement without telling him. Guilt starts to eat at him. Ethan begins pushing back against his mother, trying to make things right. But karma doesn't forget. Dahlia is now working with Mrs. Blackwell, plotting again. Alina is summoned to a custody hearing. Dahlia filed a fake report saying Alina is unstable and Zara needs supervision. The betrayal burns. Ethan shows up as a witness for Alina. He defends her fiercely, and for the first time, Alina sees real remorse in his eyes. But she can't forgive yet. That night, she finds a letter from her mom, hidden in Zara's stuffed toy. Forgive only if it heals you, not because they ask. Ethan publicly exposes his mother and Dahlia, revealing their past deeds and the cover-up. Blackwell Corp stocks crash. Mrs. Blackwell is ousted. Dahlia is arrested for fraud. Ethan steps down. He sends Alina one last letter. I will never ask for your forgiveness, but I will never stop protecting Zara. Alina reads it with tears. Karma finally did its job, and this time, she didn't have to lift a fings. Months later, Alina lives in a quiet town, working at a library. Zara laughs again. Noah visits often. Life feels safe, but Ethan sends gifts sometimes, just for Zara. He never shows up. One day, Zara asks, "Why doesn't Daddy come anymore?" Alina smiles, eyes misty, because he finally learned that love isn't control, it's letting go. She doesn't hate him anymore, but she doesn't need him either. Alina writes in her journal, I was broken, then I broke others, then I healed. She visits her mother's grave, whispering, I did it, Mama. I protected her. As she walks away, Zara runs ahead, laughing in the sunlight. The story ends with Alina's voice. I lost everything once, and I found it again, in her smile. This time I won't let it go.